Hello guys, hi everybody. Welcome back to Blossom Women Living with POI. My name is Anita and welcome back to my channel. So today's video I'm going to be talking about side effects with HRT medication. I'm going to be going in order according to medications that I have been on and currently on. So I've made a list of side effects that I have experienced so far from previous medications and current medication. So I've written them down. So I will be looking down and up just to make sure I read out everything for you guys. And I'm going to be sharing my own personal experience based on all the side effects that I have experienced so far. And also maybe someone out there can relate to it, and maybe there's other side effects as well that I have not experienced that someone else has, and you can also share with me too. That would be brilliant because that's what this space is for. So guys, so let's get this video started. So I'm going to be talking about the very first medication that I started on, which is the Avon content patch. That was my first initial medication, the Avon, and I was on that for 2 to 3 years. I've made a list of the side effects that I experienced, so I'm going to read them out for you because I've read so much comment and I've come across so many people questions about Avon because a lot of people experience skin reaction from Avon, and I definitely did experience major skin reaction from Avon as well too, and breast pain. So let's get started with that then. So with the Avon content patch, one of my major side effects was the breast pain, tenderness, and enlargement. Of course, I think I've said this so many times, having bigger boobs, it's a good thing. Like, oh yes, I have big boobs, but it comes with the pain that came with it was really, really bad for me. I hope I can say boobs and breast on YouTube. I'm not sure. So the pain that came with the breast enlargement was really bad. For me personally, just jumping, walking, regular exercise was really bad for me, and because even just leaning down to do something, getting out of bed, those things were really hard for me to do because of the pain of the breast. And even sometimes when I wear a bra, no matter how comfortable or how much the bra is actually there to support my breast, it was still very, very sore. The pain was just too much for me in terms of with the counting. That was one of the main reasons why I changed from the counting to a different HRT medication in the first place. The breast pain was number one for me, and I have spoken to so many other women. They've actually expressed the same feeling, to say that the breast pain is bad. It's just it just ruins your daily life. It ruins your daily activity. It just puts you in a mood whereby you're just angry and upset all day because of that pain, because the pain is just so discomforting. For me personally, that was me. And number two, what I have here as number two is migraine. I suffered major migraine, and it was really, really bad. I remember I would take like Panadol or other kind of medication out there just to help me relieve the pain of the migraine. It would not help that much because it was just that bad. It felt as if someone was hitting my head with a hammer, and it would start from this region here, around here and here, and then there would be a ring in my ear. There would be rings coming out of my ear, and it was just really, really bad for me as well too. Number three was skin reaction. I know a lot of people suffer from skin reaction, and for me, skin reaction was one of the major ones as well too, because my face, I'm going to put some pictures up here just to show you guys. My face, my forehead on the side right here was really bad. I didn't get any kind of rash on my other part of my body. It was just my face that was mostly affected by the medication. So other part of my body was fine. Although I did get ringworm, But I didn't get ringworm from the first medication. I got ringworm when I was on the second medication. I don't know if Femistone was the cause of ringworm, but I did realize as soon as I started the Femistone, I started developing ringworms. Yeah. And I still get ringworms up to now because I think it's in my blood. And I've spoken to my GPs and they said that there's nothing they can do about it. They can only recommend creams to actually apply to help dry up the ringworms whenever it does surface itself. So, number 4 for me was tiredness. Yes, and not just your typical I'm tired, I've not slept, or when you sleep you're okay. For me, I was extremely weak, I had no energy, and I just didn't feel myself at all. I had no energy to do anything. I was just, even when I tried to get up, you feel like your body is just, you just don't have this energy. You feel as if you don't have anything in you to support your body. You just feel extremely weak. I was always weak. I was tired, and of course that then led to my migraine. It wasn't that I was dehydrated. I was not dehydrated. I was drinking water. I was eating right. I was taking care of myself like the way I was supposed to, but I was just tired. I was tired when I was not tired. I was tired from being tired, and I was weak. I was out of energy. I was just not myself at all. And then number 6 for me was also light bleeding. I did get some bleeding when I was on the counting, and it was twice a year. So it wasn't the bleeding was twice a year, and it wasn't very heavy as well too. And throughout the 2.5 years that I was on the Avon, I only bled twice a year. Yeah. And then number 7 was blood pressure. I do remember there was a time space where I actually had blood pressure, and yeah, it was scary. I was like, what are you talking about? So whenever I go for an appointment now, I'm doing any sort of thing that requires me changing my my hormone medication, or anytime I go for my hormone kind of appointments, the doctors, the GPs, they will always check my blood pressure just to make sure my blood pressure was okay. So that's another thing that, you have to keep an eye on as well too. The other thing for me, number 8, was dizziness. Yes, I don't know if anyone else suffers from dizziness. I still suffer from dizziness, but it's not as severe as it was with the patch. So dizziness, whereby I could just be standing and chatting and everything. Next thing, I feel fainted. I feel as if I'm going to faint. I'm going to collapse, and things are just kind of spinning around me like crazy. And sometimes I could just be sitting down and I just kind of doze into space, and the next thing I'm seeing things just spinning around me as well too. So I did suffer from that for a while, which I still do, but it's not as bad, like I said. Now, number 10 for me was mood change. I've said this so many times. Mood swing, it's the bitch. It is. Mood swing is just not fun. It's not fun when it happens. And I've said it so many times. I'm not perfect. I'm still working on that, and I'm more aware of it when I know I'm not in that mood, or I'm just not in the mood. So if I'm alone in my own space, that's great. It's better. But when you are with public people, or you're in a crowded area, or in a workplace, you kind of have to find a way to just control yourself and make it not obvious, or don't snap someone else's head off, because it's not really their fault and they don't really understand what's going on with you. It's hard, but it is practice. And like I said, I'm not perfect, but I'm much better than the way I was before. And I think with when you get new symptoms, or something happens to you that you've not experienced before, you don't really know what's going on or what it's related to. When it happens over and over again, you're like, okay, all right, I know what's going on. Especially with me, I'm not used to periods. So the only time I've actually had period on a monthly basis, it's on this medication I'm currently on. I'm bleeding every single month now, and I experience new things every single month. I'm just like, what is going on with me? And then the next day I notice, okay, I'm in my menstrual cycle. And then I recognized that I was like, okay, that's why I was feeling this way. And then next time I might get the same symptoms, it might be something else. But then I try to say, okay, maybe it's because of this that's going to happen. And of course, it always end up happening. So I'm becoming more aware of different things that are happening. So that way I'm able to, know what's going on with me. And then, so those were the 10 side effects that I had with the patch. I know some people gain weight. For me, I've said this before, I really did not gain any weight from the Avon patch. I didn't get any weight at all or whatsoever. I think I lost weight. So I actually lost weight. I did not gain any weight. And for me, like I said, some of these are the major side effects that I experienced. I didn't get any weight or whatsoever. I lost weight. That's one thing I noticed. I was always a tiny, very skinny. And they say as you get older, once you get to the age of 30, your body becomes what it's supposed to be. So, and I noticed I have gained sometimes that I float in weight. Sometimes I have some weight on, sometimes I don't have weight. And I've also noticed that that has to do with my thyroid as well too. Because when I'm off my thyroid medication, I think I just go back to the weight I'm meant to be, even with eating a lot of food. And when I'm back on the thyroid medication, I just gain excess weight. Yeah. So we're going to move on to the second medication, which is the Femestone 1/5 milligram. So with the Femestone, it was exactly the same symptoms as the previous one, but just less severe. I still experience breast tenderness, breast pain, and breast enlargement, but less painful than with the previous medication. And also, I still had my migraine, but it wasn't as bad as with the counting. So let's say out of 1 out of 10, with the counting, it was 10 out of 10, 100%. But with the Femestone, I would say in terms of the breast tenderness, it was like 7 out of 10. And then with the migraine, it was like 5 out of 10. And then one of the other things that I experienced with the Femestone that I never did with the previous medication was vagina dryness. Can I say vagina? Oh my God. Oh, was vagina dryness. So I experienced vagina dryness. I never did with the counting, but I did with the Femestone, whereby I was very itchy down there, and the outer side of it, my skin was peeling, and it was really, really, really itchy, and it was just it was really itchy, and it was sore as well. You know what I mean? It was really sore during intercourse, and the discomfort of it was really, really bad. So I had to speak to my GP, and they did their own exam, and they were able to recommend a cream that I could use on the outer part, just to reduce and relieve the symptoms of, just to reduce and relieve the itchiness of the skin. And that really helped a lot, because eventually the skin started to heal and less itchy, but of course it was still very sore. It's just the soreness and the pain during intercourse, it's just comes as part of it. But there are things out there you can do to help you relieve the pain during intercourse. So yeah, this is just for my own experience. And yeah, so that was one thing I experienced with on the Femestone. The other thing that I experienced was leg cramps. I just remember now, I did experience legs cramp. There was a time whereby at night, I know sometimes when your muscles, when you walk, I know that, but there was times whereby I was always it wasn't twitchiness. It's completely, like I said, cramp is different from being twitching. Like I would constantly be experiencing muscle cramp all the time, like I said, and it would go and come. So I think that was for like, I experienced that for like a few months, 2 or 3 months, and then it stopped. It never actually happened again. So I remember I did experience that, but it was only like for a couple of months. The next thing was dizziness. I still do experience dizziness up till now, but like I said, let's say it's about 4 out of 10 compared to previous medication. And then skin reaction. Yes, I still get skin reaction, but nowadays it's actually much better than when I was on the previous medication. I think, like I said before on my previous videos, the only time I notice my skin is really bad is when I'm back on my thyroid medication, because that thyroid medication is just something else of its own. And then with the Femistone as well, I also had irregular menstrual cycle. So with the Femistone, it was also like once in every 6 months. That's once in every three months. So you can say I used to get bleeding maybe 4 times a year for at least the 6 or 7 years I was on the Femistone 1/5. So I didn't really get a regular period like that. And the major thing that really affected me a lot was anxiety. So my anxiety level was right here. And at first, I thought it was like had to do with my thyroid, because in terms of like heart rate, because I was always nervous. My hands were always shaking. I had shaking hands. Like there were times where I would just put my hand like this and you can see it's just trembling. Like I had shaking hands, and then I started to have headache, and I start to sweat, and then my heart starts to beat really fast, and it was crazy, because those are also side effects of those are also symptoms of anxiety, but also some symptoms with thyroid as well too. So at that time I wasn't really sure what was going on, but it was linked between I found out it was linked with the thyroid, more of the thyroid than the anxiety. But there are some times up till now that I still get really rapid heartbeat, and my hands are not as shaky as much, but I still sweat a lot. And I think it's just, it's part of it. And as long as I'm very aware of it. When I recognize it, I'm like, take a deep breath. I take a few deep breaths, and it's just like, Anita, you're okay. And that's what I do. And then the next one is, one thing that I noticed was I used to get a shock down from my down there, and then straight all the way down to my breast, and all the way down to my breast, like the actual breast. I used to get major shock, and I got this for a while, because I know I used to tell my friends, and they're like, are you okay? Because I could just be sitting or standing or walking, next thing I get this really sharp pain, just straight up all the way down from where my private area is, just all the way down to my breast, and it was really painful and unexpected. For a long time, I really did not know what that was, and I still get it up to now once in a while, but it's not as excuse me, I still get it once in a while, but it's not as regular as it was before. But yeah, I don't really know what that is. Up to now, I still don't know why I'm still getting that shock. It feels like an electric shock. That's what it feels like. Is there someone else out there that experiences that, or you've experienced it before? Can you share some light on that? Definitely, if you can, let me know, because I don't know, and I'm still trying to figure it out. I've spoken about it to family and my GP, and I don't remember that I got any kind of answer for that. So please let me know if you do. I'm here to learn as well too. And then let me see if I have any more. That was really it, actually, guys, for the Femistone 1/5 counting. That was really what those were really the side effects that I experienced. So now we're going to move on to the Femistone 2x10 that I started last year. With the Femistone 2x10, it's again the same side effect, but just much better, much better. So much better, so much better. I don't know what to say. It's just so much better, and it's just, in terms of the breast pain, much better. In terms of migraine, much better. In terms of the painful, well, one thing actually, painful period, because now that I'm bleeding regularly, I'm having really painful period, and they're not fun, but they're not fun, but I'm aware of them, so I try to do the things that I can do to help with hot water bottles, dealing with the cramps, and yeah, it's very painful. That's one other thing I'm currently dealing with, painful period. And like I said before, the anxiety is still there. I still deal with anxiety, but I'm aware of it. And when it does happen, I try and take deep breaths and just do things to tell myself, Anisha, you're okay, you know what's going on, so don't let this to overwhelm you. Take a deep breath and just relax and just be aware and be in that space. And you know I feel like when you're aware of it, then you know what to do to help you better, to control it better. So, but when you're not aware of it, it just overwhelms you, and it used to overwhelm me so much. And but I've made it upon myself to be more aware of them. When these things happen, when something happens I've never experienced before, when it happens, of course, in that moment, I'm gonna be in a bad mood. I'm gonna be very cranky because I'm just in so much pain and agony. I don't know what's going on. But then once that happens, I then realize, okay, why did this happen? I make a note of it, or a mental note of it, or I write it down, and I'm okay. Next time, I'm aware of this happened. Next time, let's see what happened. And it might happen next time, like, oh, okay, this is the reason why. It might not, and something else happens. But whatever follows after that happens, I know that was the reason that happened, if you know what I mean. So, and the skin reaction has completely stopped, to be honest. I don't get any kind of rash or face face spot from any of the HRT medication anymore. I don't. Apart from when I actually, I'm gonna keep you guys updated once my HRT my fem sorry no once my thyroid has been treated and I'm off the thyroid medication, you're going to see how my skin is going to improve so much. The only reason why it's actually getting bad again gradually is because of being on the thyroid medication. That's why. If not, my face is actually looking so much better than before. And yeah. And one other thing I was going to say is, yeah, I think I've said I have regular bleeding right now, so I bleed every single month. Since I've been on the Femistone 2x10, I notice I've been bleeding every single month, and I'm taking the dates on my period tracker. So I just keep the dates. So when I go for my appointments and I'm being asked questions about your last menstrual cycle, I'm able to answer those questions. And for them, and guys, that's really all I have on my list. And if there's anyone else out there that relates to this, definitely let me know. Share your own experience with me. And if there are other side effects that you are experiencing that's outside of my own list, let me know, because I definitely want to know. Share with me. That's what this space is for. Let's help each other out. Let's share with each other, and let's just support each other. That's what this space is for. And I'm happy to be able to share my own experience with you. And guys, thank you so much for coming back. Thank you so much for supporting this channel, and thank you so much for allowing me for watching this video and listening to what I have to say, and for sharing my own personal experience. Like I said before, I will always say, people's experience are different. Everybody is different. Everyone experiences it in a different form, and whatsoever. So I'm gonna leave that video here today. If you have any questions for me or you want to ask me anything, send me a message, send me an email, or just go down to the Blossom Women Living with POI Instagram page and send me a question there, and just ask me anything. I'm an open book. I will answer as honestly as I can. And thank you so much for watching then. I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye.